Welcome, everyone. How are we all doing?
What was that?
Everyone good?
Hear that?
Don't worry. Don't
that just
worry
me?
about that. Don't worry.
Oh god.
We don't need. No. That was in fact Cuddly Raptor trying to get here in time, but the thing is, her being on time isn't till next week, and we're just, as TTRPG players, notoriously bad with numbers.
It's true. This is very true. We're total fakers. We actually have no idea what we're doing.
Why do you think we use digital dice?
Yeah.
We let websites do all the math for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need.
Speaking of websites doing math, I think some of the people out there who are keeping their ears out for the news, we will simply have to say that we're watching the D&D Beyond shenanigans that are to come, and we are making sure that the game works for us. That's what we're gonna focus on. For those of you keep your eyes on the news, very strange news. But everyone, before we go anywhere, before we do anything, welcome in. I am Josie Poser, the dungeon mistress who run this game. Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's me. It's
Did you
me.
guys know that? Were you guys in on this?
I'm not in on anything. If anything, I'm out of everything. Just out.
Yeah.
So
This is a negative. Like I was trying to work it through a negative. Like I made sure that no one would know, in then hopes that you would all figure it out. Don't overthink it.
Give us a hint.
Yeah. But yes, I'm Joseph Poser, the dungeon mistress. We are still one cat. No,
We're a cat. Definitely
right?
a cat short.
Yeah, she is a cat.
We are one Cuddly Raptor short still. She's still in the old country with the old family, and you can all blame me for saying she'd be back today, because I'm the only one who said it.
We all just believed
it's my
it.
fault. Yeah, they all believed it. The information was there for everyone to view, but no one bothered to fact check me, and I feel like that has to speak to, is charisma my main stat if everyone just believed me?
Well, I was gonna say, like, I may look like a sheep.
What do you mean no?
Maybe not right now, but like, are we sheep? Do we just follow what Josie says blindly?
Probably lemmings more than sheep.
Oh,
Yes.
or
yes,
Pikmin.
probably
Can we be Pikmin?
No, I never played Pikmin, but that's another conversation.
I don't. Yeah, that's true.
I think it's more like Pac-Man, and I'm trying to build the map around you little ghosts, and every now and then I have to eat the big candy and chase you back on track. No, that was campaign 1. But I am joined today, as always, by the lovely people. Sitting next to an empty chair, we have...
Me. I'm Participation Award, aka Roju. And I play Forrest Barkley, our big boy Goliath Paladin.
It's true. And above Forrest Barkley, sitting by the window,
You have Trish. She is a bard, dragonborn, amethyst dragon.
and next to Trish's good friend, long time,
Pain in my ass, financial problems.
Apple of your eye. Tinker Slobbersnout at your service. Artificer extraordinaire, played by Ozzy Defro.
Ozzy Devro, it's true. And I'm just going to really quickly shout out Pop Banana Art, because some of you may know that Banana does a lot of art for us, including this wonderful background.
Wow.
And a lot of extra stuff in the background as well. But she is currently live, so even if you don't feel like going over there, please click that little heart icon that shows up in chat. Give a follow. Show some love. It would be very, very appreciated.
Yeah.
But I think
Oh, look
Was
at
there
that. We
anything else?
cleanly made it
No.
to 7:30.
Oh my god.
I mean,
31. There we go. Roll the
we
clip.
Wow,
Ruined
how
it.
glad you
Ruined
got.
it.
The king of the free Sedum has had many lovers, many suitors, many partners. But for once, there are rumors in Algia about a marriage.
You know what they say, king of the sea's always wet.
Thanks for coming, everyone. I hope you all had a great time. This was a really good stream. I'm happy about everyone's performance today. Roju, if you wouldn't mind staying a few minutes after, I maybe have a
Stay after the class.
Yeah, I just want to talk to you. You're not being put on the spot.
Sure. Wet and
you're
salty.
being put on the rack.
Oh, not the rack.
The rack.
Thanks, Pablo.
As the gatherings of city officials and the special guest Marlin sat down to discuss current events within the city of Hague, with a focus on the Leviathan and what to do with it, Marlin asked for clarification when it was his turn to speak, and then prompts to question why would it fall to the free Sedum to deal with this creature. And for the first time in about 50 years, Hathok, the artisan, the ingenuity herself, made a public appearance. She walked up to the table, materialized a chair out of nowhere, and seemed to not really care or have her mind on what was going on. The only thing that caused a reaction with this goddess was Trish trying to send a telepathic message. And Trish quickly learned what it is to be seen by a divine being. Then the Scrapped One spoke up. In the presence of the city officials and Hathok the artisan herself, he laid bare a plot that had been to crash the Leviathan down on the rusted commons. And he pointed his finger at Vanya Fuela, headmaster of the College of Engineering and Robotics and the leader of the Ingenuity. Split second later, Vanya found herself bound, and Hathok, with a sigh, told the rest of the Ingenuity to deal with this. And this is why she avoided politics. As the artisan left, as abruptly as she had arrived, a member of the Furnace Halls, the religious clergy that follows Hathok's tenets and beliefs, ushered forth a spell that would force Vanya to speak the truth, and Bramal, another member of the Ingenuity, asked her if she was indeed part of this plot, and if she was indeed the one who had commissioned the Scrapped One to create an artificial seed. She said yes, and before she could finish a full sentence, she was pushed into this object, this strange blue bead of energy, and she simply vanished within it. Then, the meeting went on. They decided that they would euthanize the Leviathan. They talked about needing more workers in the bellows. The Rusted Commons disputed this, but they did not have enough political ground to stand against it. Simply a written promise of insurance and pay for those who would be forced to work under these horrendous circumstances, to make a sacrifice for the city as a whole. When the meeting concluded, Trish having left to return to the Daughters of Flame, Marlin returned to the group and asked them if they knew anywhere that he could get a local drink. And they all went to the inn. Drinks were had, conversations were had. Marlin gave a few encouraging words to Trish regarding what she had experienced. Tinker received the fully translated schematics of the gauntlets. And some nice, polite discussions were had. So we come back as you're all sitting within the Daughters of Flame Tavern, waiting for what's next to come. All you know is that after closing hours, Valia wants to talk with all of you about what happened in the higher mountains.
Mm-hmm. I see it's currently early afternoon.
It is indeed early afternoon. We're going to hop a few minutes forward. As Marlin is finishing up his food and drink, he says, I believe it is time for me to do as the tree and leaf.
Oh, that's another joke.
It is. Thank you for appreciating.
Oh, thank you for trying.
No, but yes, I have places to go. Looking at, and he sort of like leans and looks outside the open door. I have to get to Port Smargad before a nightfall.
Where is that?
It is to the south, the very, very furthest southern point of the Amberlands. If you ever find your way there, I suggest looking at the sights. It is quite lovely.
Oh, I'm sure
yes.
we'll get out of the city soon enough.
Well, this has been wonderful to meet all of you. Trish, Tinker, and Forrest.
It's just nice to meet someone who hasn't, well, tried to eat us, stab us, throw us in jail.
No, I only eat the dead things.
Especially when we are under the information that you might be causing trouble today, but you've been absolutely nice.
And he looks conflicted for a moment, and then says, it is fine. I understand why someone would think that I would cause a trouble.
If anything, I cause trouble.
Oh,
I am sure you do.
Trouble.
I do not judge them for their prejudice. It has been a long time since the war, and no good relationship has been formed between our various domains.
Well, I do not understand war, but I understand people, and I think you're a good one.
Thank you, Forrest. I think you are a good one as well.
Well, thank you.
Now, before I go, I was wondering, Trish, could I have a word outside?
Trish just nods her head, like so. Just...
Yeah, remember that she's downed her like 4th or 5th beer.
Yeah, she's feeling it.
And you see as he stands up, he pats down his coats and he stretches out. You can still see that he's got like that little bit of a humpback, and there's definitely something under his cloak that's poking outward. His long pearlescent blade. He seems to be very aware of it, like spatially. When he moves, it never collides with anything. And as soon as he steps over the threshold leading outside, the little puddle that was waiting for him quickly gets in under his feet. And there's like a little soft splash as he steps outside.
Tinker sort of like leans over to Forrest and goes, "That puddle is definitely alive."
I don't know if I've ever seen a living puddle before.
Neither have I, but it seemed rude to ask.
Well, the more time I spend out and about, the more I learn that there's all kinds around here, so you never know.
Once outside, Marlin holds a hand out towards you, Trish, and says, "There is something I would like to give you." Seeing as what you've been going through and what you must be going through in your life, it cannot be easy. And he's holding his hand out.
She doesn't say a word and just puts her hand out.
He takes his other hand and he palms an object in your hand and says, whenever you feel worried, just squeeze this. It will help you. It has helped me for a very long time whenever I am anxious or afraid. Simply hold it in your hand. Let it ground you. It will help. And he lets go. And in your hand you have a beautiful, somewhat oval pearl.
So she's looking at it, and with alcohol kicking in, she's sort of not really sure if it would work, but she goes to, like, obviously gives it a good squeeze, and she just goes to hug him.
You give it a good squeeze. It's hard. It's not malleable, but you can feel it. You can feel it almost reaching your temperature. Like you can feel the cold pearl getting warmer and more comfortable in your hand. And as you go to hug him, he opens his arms up and hugs you back. And you can feel that under his cloaks, he's got these incredibly defined arms. And he just hugs you back. And he says, do not forget who you are. Your greatest strength will always be to be yourself.
At this point, she's crying a little bit, just smiling at him. Just, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, it is unfortunate I didn't meet your other friend, but I will have to see you later.
Oh, stop. And she gives a little slap on the chest.
As you do, you feel that as well as, like, incredibly dense. Like,
Boys,
like he's... No, but it's like he's got the epitome of a swimmer's body.
Yeah, right.
Being a fish man, you know?
So she's gonna pocket the pearl and walk back inside. And she's gonna go get some water because she feels like she's had enough drinks.
Yeah, because she's thirsty.
Anyone looking see that outside the door, Marlin sort of leans down and grabs the puddle, and as he goes, he almost like manages to get his fingers on it, and he pulls it up and it turns into like a ball of water that he puts under his arm, like someone carrying like a basketball. And then he just shoots off into the air and vanishes. He just disappears. He just like Superman jumps into the air and disappears.
No words. I've got no words.
I mean, Tinker's still inside, but that's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
He's still in full view outside the door. He wasn't like walking away.
Okay,
He
so
just
it's
stepped out.
Well, you don't see that every day.
That man can really go.
Yeah. You could say he's got the zoomies.
Could you?
I just did.
Oh, I suppose so. These drinks are pretty good.
Yeah, no more from me. I think I need to sober up. I think.
Well, I mean, you can always use the night to cut loose.
No, I've cut loose enough. 4 drinks is more drinks I've ever had in my life.
Oh.
Well, see, that's the problem with you people who don't think as much as I do. I think so much that I need to drink more so that it actually hits me harder.
Well, this one's the most I've had in my life. as well. So we're the same.
Hang on, am I the most experienced drinker in the lot?
It's a
This
bit
is
weird,
the
but
part-
it's kind of alright.
Tinker's never had a drink in his life, aside
No.
until he's.
This is the moment where an invisible audience beyond a non-existent fourth wall realizes that Tinker might be underage, depending on how you count it. But we also don't know what the legal drinking age in Wormcrest is.
No, we
Probably
don't.
5.
And Tinker will never tell you what the legal age of drinking in Wormcrest is.
So ahead of you, you have the rest of the afternoon. Somewhere around 9-10 p.m., Valia has asked all of you to come down into the tavern section for a conversation. Besides that, the city is yours. Every now and then you see some street urchins come in. They run up to Pharaoh, who's walking around like sweeping the floors or bussing tables, and they'll whisper something to him. He'll hand them like a copper piece or two.
Tinker would like to go over the notes and essentially if there's any like common sort of components or stuff like that he reckons he could easily acquire in the city or in the various stores that he's seen around the city, at least in the local area, so to speak. He'd probably want to go out and accumulate some of that. And you said Pharaoh was sweeping, yeah?
Yeah, he's doing like tasks around the tavern.
Yeah, he'd make sure that if he walks past, like, when you're sweeping, you tend to like pile up the dust and then you get a dustpan and brush and you sort of pick it up. If he goes past one of those piles, he'd like sort of like flick his tail a little bit so a bit of wind kind of like catches one of those piles and spreads it out a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah, whenever you would pass by after that, it would be like a very, very sudden, like, oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. And like he would spill like whatever's left in a half-empty flagon of ale, like on your feet or wherever you were just about to step. Like, I'm so clumsy. I'm so sorry.
Yes, you are. You're very clumsy. Maybe they should fire you.
Maybe they should. Maybe they should. Maybe we should evict you for breaking everything.
Oh, well, as long as I'm paying. I'm a paying customer. The customer's always right, you know?
That's not really how the saying goes, though.
Well, I'd like to see you find out the real saying, but that would require
Fine. Give me till tonight.
Could I have another drink?
Chris will get up and go grab the drink for Forrest. But,
2 coppers per drink.
Yeah. And then on the way back, all right, Forrest, I got you a drink.
Oh, thank you, Trish.
I want to do something. It sounds a little silly, but let's arm wrestle.
Arm wrestle? I've never done that.
And so she's like looking around for Tinker at this point to try and
Tinker's
like,
arguing with her.
and like just like and like, hey, to a random person, hey, you know what an arm wrestle is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Arm wrestle, yeah. What about it?
Let's do one, and then I just want to show my friend here. He doesn't know what an arm wrestle is, so am I able to do one with you? And then, sure, awesome. Let's do some strength stuff.
Oh, okay. Let's make some space. And they're like moving over, and you see someone else coming up, who's right now like holding a plate of food and just eating it. It says, "Are you sure about this? You know, your old injury. Are you sure you want to do this?" How bad could it be? How bad could it be? Look at her.
I'm only tiny.
Before Trish breaks someone's arm.
All right, let's go.
Alrighty.
And
Let's
he sits
go.
down and puts his arm up. And Forrest, you see the way they set their arms up and get ready. And make an athletics check.
+0, yeah.
At this point, Tinker points out to Pharaoh that guy who's just eating his food with his plate is dropping crumbs everywhere. It's like, you better go clean that up. After all, it might be your last shift.
Oh. 18.
Pharaoh just looks at you. 18. I got a 15 plus 4. So I'm sorry. So you see like the struggling and like you feel that it's so even and he just it has to be the alcohol. That's the only explanation really, as he's slowly winning ground and manages to push your arm down. And says, "Oh, you put up quite a fight there, Les. I wasn't expecting that. Where do you work? What do you do?"
Beginner's luck, I think. It must be. I've only done this like twice. So yeah,
Wow.
maybe
really?
maybe I was just able to get my arm in a really good spot. I'm not very strong at all.
Well, I'd say you're plenty strong.
No, shucks. A big guy like you telling me I'm strong? Oh.
You're plenty strong.
Is this part of it as well?
Yeah, come on, Forrest. You and I should give it a go.
Oh, sure. All right.
Both of you make athletics checks.
I'm so ready for Forrest to roll in that one.
His like forearm is probably like half again longer than yours.
Yeah. So Trish goes to herself. Yeah, I've got this, and gives herself bardic inspiration.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah, go for it.
I've got this.
All right. So athletics, and then I'll roll a d6 after that.
Oh shit.
Forrest, does that do much to drink?
Oh, what is that? Oh.
Oh, this is perfect. This is perfect. So This is Forrest barely putting any effort in, and just like slams Trish's arm into the table loudly. You even hear Pharaoh go, "Hey, don't break more shit." I didn't do it.
Sorry.
This
do
time,
it, right?
I'm sure you're to blame somehow.
Should I have taken longer?
No.
Maybe you should do a rematch.
A rematch? Maybe we swap arms this time. And she puts up her left arm.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask: Are your characters canonically right or left-handed?
Trish is right.
Forrest isn't really any-handed. He's just kind of he's kind of ambidextrous. Because like,
okay,
I mean, it just.
What hand does he use for sword or shield? I guess is the question.
Well, because I'm right-handed personally, so I always mime it the way I would do it.
Okay.
But
I
think
make
that's
athletics checks, the two of you. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh no!
I didn't get to see his roll. It didn't come up for me.
I rolled
You got
a
a
one.
13.
You rolled a 13.
And Forrest got a natural 1 for a 6. So I'm gonna ask Forrest, why do you lose this fight?
Because he just thinks that they take turns.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's perfect. I love that. He's just putting no effort in.
He's just like,
Rich slams his arm down.
Tracy, just out of curiosity, does Tinker notice any cracks appearing in the table with the constant slamming of these arms and the weightiness of Forrest's arm?
I don't know if
Perception or investigation check.
I don't know if we would have used like furniture breaking levels of force yet.
That was a pretty big slam, and I.
We'll see.
Sorry, what was it? It was either investigation or
Perception.
they're both the same. That will be a 20.
20. You look, and you are with your keen mind feet. You're like, no, there are only old cracks.
Credit where credit's due. These are some well-made well-made tables.
Yeah. You turn around, you see Pharaoh's talking to Valia and Lami over by the counter, and he then turns around, walks with stern steps up to you, and he says, "The customer is always right in the matter of taste. Pharaoh, 2." And he walks away.
Actually, hold on. That is... Fuck, what's the word? Oh my god, Darcy, what's the word? That's discrimination. My taste buds don't work.
I got work to do.
Now apologize.
No.
You reminded me that I have a part of my body that doesn't work, and I feel bad about it.
Are you really doing this right now?
Tinker narrows his eyes. Yes.
Fine. So sue me.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to make sure there's something uncomfortable in your bed tonight.
Joke's on you. I never sleep.
And Tinker leans in and goes, that explains the bags under your eyes.
And you see these two are now like pushing their noses against each other as they're just standing there. It's like, well, at least.
Oh, and that bad breath too.
Says you. I don't have any nose hair left now because of your breath.
No, that's just the fumes for my acidic saliva.
And you, in the background, you just hear Trish go, fight, 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 fight.
And then Pharaoh looks at you, Tinker. And without breaking eye contact, he grabs your hand and he puts something in your hand. He says, "That's all right. I understand." He turns around and leaves.
What?
You look down, and in your hand, you have a little tin that says antacids on it.
Tinker, you lost that one.
I mean, at least it wasn't a bomb that blew your arm off or anything, you know?
I don't know, you haven't opened the tin yet.
Not a bomb yet. Yep, Tinker lost that one. That's Pharaoh too.
Yep.
Yep.
And you can definitely hear as Pharaoh walks around the corner, you can hear like, yes!
Just
Yeah, he for sure fist pumped.
he absolutely did. Oh. It's all right. I'll get him. Don't worry, chat. I'll get him one day.
But you wanted to figure out if there was any parts of the gauntlets, any of the items you could acquire.
Yes, yeah, just in like general, like just in the places around. He doesn't want to go too far away from the Daughters of Flame. He's a little paranoid that he's about to be scooped up by like some political goon. So he's Tinker's a little,
or a large,
especially
bird.
after a couple of drinks. So he's kind of like, yeah, he's a little.
Okay. Are you going to ask around for a place, or are you actually going to go looking for somewhere?
No, Tinker's pretty smart. He reckons he can figure it out.
Okay, so he's just going looking.
He's just going looking. Yeah.
Okay, make a perception check.
Let's go. Let's not go. We
9.
will, take that 9.
You take a couple of laps around the nearby blocks and realize the only place that you could think of that might have what you need
No.
is Ulir's pawn shop.
Makes sense.
Fine, Tinker goes.
He's going there?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, Faris is going to be like to Trish, so did I do it right? Is that what's the What's
the reason behind it? It's the arm wrestle. It's just to see who's stronger. And I got a feeling you let me win on that second one.
Well, it was your turn.
No. It's you got to beat everyone. It's not you take turns in winning.
Everyone.
I mean, you could start arm wrestling everyone if you want. It's up to you.
What's the point of that?
To prove you are strongest.
I don't think I need to prove that.
That's fair enough. And Trish at that time goes, do you play musical instruments or do you sing or anything like that?
Oh, I like music. I sing sometimes.
Well, if I start playing an instrument, would you like to sing?
Oh, I'd love that.
Okay. And Trish gets her stuff ready and sets up the little stool. And are you ready, Forrest?
Sure. Do I need to do anything?
You just sing and I'll match the music to you.
I don't know how to do that. I normally just sing along with the music.
Oh, I'll start playing something and then you sing along.
Sure.
I'm easy. And it starts off like a little bit like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but it goes
What
into
is
more
she playing? What instrument?
A lute.
Okay.
She's gonna play a lute.
Playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star?
No, to start with, like it sort of starts with that.
Wow, bad
And then
extraordinaire.
It goes more into like a festival-y sort of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I would love to know how Twinkle Twinkle Little Star turns into like a festivally upbeat. Sort of...
Because it is more or less sounds like she's sort of tuning, but then it just
How the hell does Twinkle
like
Twinkle Little Star turn into this?
Well, this is much better than Twinkle
this.
Twinkle
This is what happens. It turns into this.
Holy shit.
Sure.
Nice. Well, then Forrest is like, sort of listens to it for a little bit, and then sort of starts sort of finding his voice a little bit. So like,
And not everyone is a song by Forrest.
He's like a husky howling into the moon.
This is fun, Trish.
He's like walking a couple of blocks away going, what the devil is that sound I can hear?
Yeah, eventually Valia walks up and says, Oh, please, I think that's enough for now. You're welcome to come again and play again later. But maybe take a little break. Maybe just a little bit, a few minutes.
It sort of like thumps the table, picks up the mug and
Lovely.
Trish sort of just gets off the stool. She's gonna sit down for water, order some food.
Yeah, the only person around who didn't seem to mind it was Lami, the little bunny girl, who was just sort of like humming along and walking while serving people in the tavern.
And yeah, she's just got to keep giggling to herself while having a feed now because that was great.
Tinker, you eventually reach the familiar storefront. You see the sign? It reads open.
All right, Tinker, you can do this. You can do this. Okay, all right. Now. No matter how much he antagonizes you, just go in, say you're sorry, and get out. 4. Science. And he walks in.
Soon as he walks in, you hear like a little jingle of a bell, and then the voice goes, "Welcome in! Get the fuck out!"
Wait,
You're not welcome here.
I come to seek a truce.
A truce, you say?
A truce, yes.
Will you pay for the shoes?
How much were the shoes again?
30 silver?
They were not 30 silver.
Fine. 10.
10 silver? I don't remember that at all. How about a trade?
There's a twinkle in his corvid eye. A trade, you say?
A trade, yes.
What have you have for trade?
Well,
Come. And he like takes his feathered arm and just shoves a bunch of stuff off the counter. I'll deal with those later. Show me. Trade.
right. Okay. I will trade you an elixir that I have created myself. I will give you. And he sort of thinks for a second as Darcy checks his backpack real quick for how many vials of acid he has. Excellent. Cool. I will trade you 2 elixirs that I have created that cure wounds as good as any potion, but it's not a potion. And you can spend as much time as you want attempting to figure out its secrets, and then if you can figure out how to recreate it, you'll be the only person selling it, because I'm not going to sell it. I just keep using it.
Monopoly.
Yes, a monopoly. That's right.
Oh, wait. No. If you also know how to do it.
I'm not selling them. Do I look like someone who has a lot of money from selling an exclusive elixir that is infinitely cheaper to make than? But it's also a puzzle, because obviously you can't have it too easy. You got to work out how to
Prove
make
it. Show me.
Prove it. All right. And with that, Tinker pulls out a dagger and scratches his arm with it, makes himself bleed. He does about 1 point of damage to himself.
Okay, sure.
Yep. And then he pulls out one of his flasks of cure wounds. That is essentially his spell. And he drinks it and shows the wound healing up.
Yeah.
Because it's not a potion.
It starts scabbing over.
Yeah.
It starts like the bleeding definitely stops almost immediately.
And because it's not the same color of a potion, so it's different, but it still healed his wounds.
It did. I see. And you're trading me too, so you can keep the shoes.
And there's a few other items I would like to find, if you've got them. And Tinker would sort of explain some of the more common items and parts that he might need for this gauntlet.
And you mentioned what you need, which would be?
Wait, hang on. Do I actually have that, like the notes? Or...
I mean, I told you. I don't know if you wrote it down.
I didn't write them down.
Okay. You
does have a
need.
keen mind.
Yeah, you have the keen mind.
Well, I thought it would be. Anyway, I'll write them down now.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I am going to find where I wrote it down, because I don't have the exact number in my head.
Because obviously the sinew or whatever is going to be ridiculously hard to find. But like I thought there'd be. Yeah.
So you need. Here we go. Hold on. I know that you need platinum alloyed gold wire is one of the options. Quite a big amount of it, because it needs to be the circuitry, rather than being just etched, needs to actually be filled in.
Yep.
With this material. Or the muscle fibers, like preserved muscle fibers of a creature. Yes, and it's the wires would cost you around 1,000 silver pieces.
Right. Yeah.
Or you could get preserved muscle fibers of a creature.
Well, it was more he knew he probably wouldn't find either of these things in the city, or at least not easily. So he was more looking for anything, like any of the other materials he would need. He was just looking to gather those materials. That's kind of what he was mainly sort of after.
Okay. So how much of what you need do you say to Ulir?
See, you never want to just get the exact amount because you're probably not going to get it right in the first go. Well, it depends.
Gotta get the baker's dozen, right?
Sorry?
Gotta get the baker's dozen.
Yeah, that's kind of right. So he kind of like, he would sort of like request the amounts in almost like double he would need.
Okay. And Ulir leans in and says, I actually might have something.
Oh. Yes?
Yeah. Hold on. And he says, don't take anything.
I swear, if my name wasn't Trish.
Sure. And he turns around and he goes into a back section.
I swear,
He
he comes out with
returns-
the bullock.
No, he
Arrest
walks
that
into a
man.
back section. He walks through like beaded curtains. You hear the clicking of his taloned feet. And he brings over a big wooden crate with like rope handles and just puts it on
Oh,
the counter. And he looks at you. I might have exactly what you're looking for.
that seems oddly convenient.
Yes. Doesn't it? Did you know I had this? Are you
No.
playing me again?
No, I honestly, if I was, this wasn't a ploy. This wasn't the ploy.
And he opens, like it's got a slide lid, and you see within there is a almost looks like the carapace of a creature,
Yeah.
like a plating of some kind. And he says, this object. This is the back plating of a brulee.
What is that?
It's a digging creature that lives in the mountains and the tunnels.
Oh.
And it might have some. And he sort of lifts it. It's heavy, and it's almost got like a half pipe shape to it. And he turns it around, and you do see that there are some almost like dry aged preserved, like, like mummified
Wait.
muscle fibers on the inside.
Hang on. I went looking for the dud stuff. I got the good stuff? Okay, hold on.
I rolled to see what he might have as an inventory, and I rolled a natural 20.
Okay.
Damn.
All right. Okay. Because I was about to play him like a sucker, that changes everything to what I was about to do. Okay.
And he sort of like looks at it. Do you think there would be enough in here? Also, what are you paying for it? Because I was going to auction it off as a whole piece.
Oh,
Maybe make a shield.
I mean, that also sounds pretty good, but... Right.
How much you got?
I suppose you wouldn't need the carapace for the thing, just the fibers, right?
Yeah. Well, if you're just making the shield out of it, do you really need all that spindly stuff on the back? How about you keep the carapace, the actual shell itself, therefore you can still auction it off and possibly get a bit of moolah out of that, and I just get the pieces I need.
For how much?
Tinker's sweating now because he was actually going to give Ulia vials of acid and then run giggling as he tries to use one as a healing potion.
Yeah. Just running away hearing, it burns!
Yeah, pretty much. But now he's actually got something that is of value and Tinker does want and need, and Tinker actually has nothing of value that Ulio wants or needs. So... Well, how about I make things a little spicy in this deal?
All right.
And Tinker produces a vial of his cure wounds, right? Which is the same color and
You already promised me 2 of those.
Hold on. How about you only take 1, and I give you a bottle of this instead? And he produces a vial of acid, which is a slightly different color. It's slightly. It's not by much, but it's slightly.
What's the difference?
Bring me a very hard substance that you believe cannot be affected by acid.
Ah! Ha. You think this? You think this little thing? Hold on. It walks back again. Goes into the back. Brings out what looks like a necklace or a collector's chain which has several metal rings, and in each metal ring is a little scale of various colors. And they do look like dragon scales. It sort of unlatches one that has a very deep black, almost Vanta black sheen to it. It says, got this of a guy who know a guy. This is genuine dragon scale. Impervious to acid. If you can so much as make a dent, and you can get me 3 vials, I'll make a deal.
Well, first, let's see if I can make that dent, shall we?
Be my guest. Hold on. And like grabs what looks like like the fine crystal tray that people would have in their homes.
Yeah.
It's like this really, really nice. It maybe has like some very geometric designs in it, and puts that little plate on the counter and then puts the scale on it. And it's small. It's like
gotta catch that runoff.
Barely the size of your palm, the scale itself.
So
Give it your best shot.
Tinker looks at this scale and he thinks back to a certain event. And by doing so, he drags up all the emotions, the feelings, and he quote unquote releases the floodgates. And
So he's throwing up in the plate.
metaphorically speaking, he allows a drop of full potency to roll off his tongue and onto the dragon scale.
As you open your mouth and let a single drop trickle down your tongue, that is now aimed towards the scale. Earlier, just looks at you with confused bewilderment and curiosity, and seems like he can't decide whether to back off or lean in. And then the drop falls and immediately starts dissolving this scale. And Earlier goes, "By Rickles tail feathers!
Sorry.
How did you do that?"
Did you say that was a real dragon scale?
"Yes!
You should get a refund.
Yes!"
That vial is filled with that exact same liquid.
Take 3.
I only have 2 right now.
Make a persuasion check.
He literally only has 2 right now. There's no persuading needed. But I can
What
get
else you got?
Well, I can get you another one tomorrow. I can't just. That stuff takes time to prepare, you know? It.
Fine. I'll talk to someone about getting this cleaned out. And you come back with more acid.
All right. But you can't tell anyone where you got it, right?
Yeah, sure. And I'm keeping these. I'm keeping these.
You can keep those, yes. But you can't. I don't care what you do with the other stuff, but the acid you gotta keep between you. I mean, this is, as I said, I'm trying to do a truce here. I'm trying to make things good, and get a bit of trade. Never hurts anyone. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry for the trouble that I may or may not have caused. It's new. This is new to me, all right? I've been hanging around someone who's started this little voice in the back of my...
Sorry, too.
Oh, you understand? You understand how this is?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Let's never do that again.
It's like oil in my mouth. It's disgusting. Oh my! Can we never do that again? Can we? Okay, how's this? Outside of the store, we continue to pretend we hate each other. Does that sound good?
Right.
That way,
Right.
perception by other people is maintained, but we can keep doing trades and helping each other.
Secret friends.
Secret partners.
Business associate.
Business acquaintances.
Deal.
Deal. And Tinker spits on his hand and goes to shake.
Uli reaches out.
You're the second person I've gotten with that.
And then he looks down. And you see him considering the healing elixir that you gave him. Like, no. He's like, I got something alkaline around here somewhere. And he just starts digging through stuff. Okay, get out now.
Okay.
I gotta go run some errands.
Excellent. I'm currently staying at the Daughters of Flame Inn. Send a message when this is all cleaned out and ready to go.
Yes.
And with that, Tinker walks away, still wearing the spring step slops, and keeping his 10 copper in his pocket.
Yeah, great. But you are out of acid. And you need to mark away a cure wound spell slot.
He has done so already, yes. Yep.
Though Tinker knows, Uli doesn't know, that these things completely lose any potency very soon. The potion will be useless about 6 seconds after Tinker leaves the shop, and the acids will be useless in a couple of hours.
This is a very sketchy scheme here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's kind of hoping this happens quickly.
Just pray Ulir doesn't try any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Do you return to the inn?
Oh yeah, he goes straight back to the inn. He's now paranoid about Angry Birds and like hired goons. He's a very paranoid tinker right now.
Is there anything else anyone wants to do before the end of the day?
Nothing specific. Arkenforest probably has a couple more drinks before going for a nap.
Okay. He has a couple of drinks. You can mark off 2 copper per drink.
Shall do.
And we will do a ye old fast forward. Later the same evening, the winds are bustling through the district. The doors to the tavern are closed, shutters shut, blinds down. The tavern is closing up for the evening. The last customer has left. Kitchen is being cleaned out. The eating area is being swapped, chairs put up on tables. The doors have been locked for the night. And you all hear a knock upon your various doors.
Hello.
And you hear a little voice goes, "You're supposed to come down. We need to talk."
All right. Get up. Opens the door, having been mid-nap.
Mid 5-hour nap. No.
Tinker has got very bloodshot eyes. He has just been reading over and over and over and over and over again how to make these gauntlets. He could probably recite the entire thing from scratch at this point.
He's got a keen mind.
He's just been staring at these notes. And he like, even when the light was starting to get dim, he didn't like turn on, he didn't get a lantern or a candle or anything like that. He just kept reading, because he's got that dark vision. And
he does.
Just wanted to mention that. Just got that.
Just wanted to write it.
But it's also not good. You probably should be reading in that light anyway. It's still probably not great for his eyes. But he's
What light?
Yeah, exactly right. That's right, because it's dark. Anyway, but yeah, he will come down as well.
The light of the evil moon.
Oh yeah,
shit.
That's right. Yeah. The evil moon. We will blow that up.
Evil moon.
Has eyes.
You all also realize that Mirel has not yet returned
Oh, she'll turn
at
up.
this point.
Hmm.
But yes, and then there's also a knock on the door to your room, Trish. You hear Pharaoh calling out, "Started going downstairs."
She sort of just opens up, stumbles down to the kitchen. Yeah, she comes down and she's just chilling.
As you all come down, you see sitting on the bar top is Lami, the little bunny gnome girl. You see Valia standing behind the counter. Action and Sengreth are both sitting by a table. Sengreth is in the process of sharpening his hammer.
Uh-oh.
Action is just sitting there, his head buried in books, writing things. He's got like one of those little writing desk, but for your just everyday use, and he's just writing things and flipping through books. And you also see back in the kitchen, as you are met by the smell of freshly ground coffee. Verity is in the process of brewing up a pitcher of coffee. And Valia then speaks up. So, you mentioned the name Anvil?
Yes. Well, I suppose it's best to start at the beginning, right?
Please do.
We got into a little bit of trouble in an alleyway. Ended up accidentally killing a guy or two with a cannon. It was pretty impressive, actually.
I don't think it was accidental. They were trying to kill us.
I say it was accidental to keep me out of more trouble. But you're right, it wasn't an accident. Anyway, to get out of the lockup, we had to perform a job for the Bull Rock, and that job was to chase after our friend.
Dumont. No, yeah, Dumont.
Yes, it was Dumont, yes.
Dumont von Holstern, I think it was.
And Verity comes out with a tray with like mugs of coffee and says, Dumont von Hansen.
Hey, that's the one.
Yes.
And starts like giving coffee cups to everyone around, including all of you if you take them.
Oh, of course.
Dumont. Von Hansen.
No. That's in my brain now.
I had to share it because it was stuck in mine.
Yeah. Thanks. Now we're all infected. And then Verity, after serving everyone some coffee, asks, Is Mr. Hansen okay? Is he alright?
Well, that's...
He's been better.
Yeah.
Did Tinker give away? I can't remember. Did Tinker give away the crystal? No, he showed bits of it.
Showed some to Harald.
He showed it, which means so he goes into his bag of holding and pulls out a crystalline scab.
Immediately, Verity backs away. Like full up backs up against a wall.
Oh, it's completely dried out. It's not in liquid form. I think that means it's kind of okay. But I'll put it back. I was just, he puts it back.
I don't
And,
think.
yeah, and Valia holds a hand up and says, please put it back. Yes.
You're not
you
turning
mentioned
the crystal. I think you're okay.
Well, Verity has some lunar kin blood in her, so we're
I'm
very,
sorry.
very wary of
I
things like
didn't
that.
mean. It was easier to show than tell in this regard. However, don't worry.
He's
What's
not
her
dead.
name? Followed us.
What's her name?
The name of the lady with the backpack. I've had a
Lady
few.
with the backpack? Are you talking about the night merchant?
Yes.
Serena? Serena was there?
Yes, she ended up. Yeah.
I think Dumont called for her in hopes she might help.
And she shook him
did.
away.
She took him.
She took him away, and you see Action puts down his little writing desk. Took her where? Took him where?
No idea.
I don't know. But
Did
she
she
did
say so to you?
I do remember her saying that she wouldn't do this for just anyone or at any time, so I didn't be calling her for this again. But like, she seemed very helpful.
Yeah, she's usually got her own agenda going on. No idea what she's up to.
Also, where's Morel?
That's a good question.
She hasn't come
no
back
idea.
through here today.
Did she not come back tonight?
No, she hasn't been to the room.
I'm a little worried.
I mean, she's an adult. She can look after herself.
Yeah, and Sengreth looks up, puts down his whetstone, looks up and says, Do you want me to go looking for her?
Look as in
Do you
locate.
think? No, just go look for her.
I might go look for her once we're done, if you want to join me.
Yeah. Like we can go look. You have any idea where she might be? Would
Nope.
she be okay on her own?
I
Possibly.
don't know.
Trish, you're always asking
We have
questions.
been
Do you have any
attacked
idea?
since we've been here, so I'm just, you know.
I think the other morale that we seen has scared her.
There's another Morel?
Oh yes, there's two. Well, one that looks a lot like her. I don't think it is her.
So I personally think there could be some little things about it. It's too coincidental for me, but I think that's what she's gone to go sort out, is that problem, and she probably wants to do it alone. I do want to go help her and find her and all that sort of stuff, but I don't know. I don't know where she is. I don't know where that other morale could be, but if I wanted to go looking for her, that's where I would start.
I don't understand. If she wanted help, she would have asked for it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think she wants help. I don't know where she would have gone, though, other
But
than that.
Hold on. That's is that the discussion for now, or
It could be.
Well, let's hear what we're here for.
Okay.
I'm gonna go.
And
look
Valia
regardless.
claps her hands and says, "Yes, yes. We wanted to thank you
what for?
for not bringing Dumont back. I assume that's
Oh.
what you were supposed to do."
You know, the last person
Bullshit.
said we wanted to thank you. They then were thanking me by trying to kill me. Well,
We brought a bit of him back, to be fair.
that's true. But anyway, yes. Well, the thing is, he said a lot of things that made a lot of sense thanks to various rumors and interactions with people in the city we've had. So once we
Yes.
worked that out, kind of.
The idea was to keep him safe until there was an opportunity to have him witness and testify.
Well, to that end, would something like this help? And Tinker pulls out the statement and goes, "It's in my handwriting, but these are technically Dumont's words."
And you see Lami looks over as she's sitting on the countertop and says, does that have anything to do with the things you gave to the captain?"
Oh, those. Yeah, this was an idea I thought was quite quick-witted. See, I was concerned because there's more people involved than just the one that went gone up on that stage. So instead of giving them the only evidence that we had, I created a couple of stones and did a vocal testimony instead, mimicking Dumont's voice, and gave those over.
And Verity, standing by the wall, says, "That's pretty clever."
I am pretty clever.
He's very smart.
That's so. What? And Valia holds her hands out as if she wants to take the papers of the testimony.
Well, I mean, we're not really involved with this, but we're kind of involved with this now.
I can make copies here and now if that makes you feel safe.
Tinker's eyes twitches a little bit, and he looks at Forrest.
Yeah.
Or at least, can I read through them?
Sure. Sorry, I'm a little jumpy at the moment. Kind of, put myself out there in front of a lot of
You
people.
did, yeah,
and,
you did.
And, well, I mean, it seemed wrong to let someone get away with dropping a whale on me, so,
Sure. Yes. No, I understand. No, I understand. It's not
Revenge is a
easy.
powerful motivator.
That it is. That it is. And you see Sengreth stands up and sort of towers above you. This large, like, broad-shouldered Simoran man. Revenge can also be very dangerous. Like a poison.
Would it help if this is petty revenge?
Yeah, sure. I guess. If it's small scale,
I
I'm
do
just
have
saying,
small
don't
scales.
get- It is one thing to seek revenge, but to wholeheartedly devote yourself to it, that's not good. The small revenges.
So, giving someone incredibly potent acid that is no longer going to be incredibly potent acid in a few hours in an effect to get trade for something incredibly valuable that you very much need, which would also extend a long-standing feud.
You conned a guy.
Oh, yes. Multiple times. Same person. It's quite funny, actually, how he's falling for it.
Oh, you know the expression. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me too infinite amount of times, shame on me.
Oh, someone who understands.
Yeah, I mean, if they fall for it once and fall for it again, what are they going to do, really?
That's true. They're a bit of a con man themselves, so the Bullock don't even believe them.
Is this Ulir?
This is Ulia, yes. Does he deserve it?
They just like immediately knew who you're talking about.
Because if he deserves
Ulir-
it, I'm going to sleep so much better tonight.
Look. Uller is not a bad guy,
Oh, damn it.
but he's also not a good guy.
Yippee!
He's just a guy, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So I don't really care. He'll probably try to con you back.
He can try.
He will. He will.
Anyway, that's what we're here for. Dumont statement. Sorry, got sidetracked at that.
Did you let Valia read through it?
Yes. He did.
Okay.
He felt the pressure of
I'm
everyone
ass-
looking at him.
I'm assuming that it's a making copies situation, right?
Well, since Tinker seemed hesitant about copies, right now all she's done is read through it.
Okay.
It's more
But
so...
as she finished, she puts the papers down, and she looks around the room, and she throws a worried look at Action before turning to Verity, who's a bit curious, like glancing over to see what's on the papers. And Valia then says, Verity, do you think there's any chance we could check with the new guard? What they know? If they're involved? Or if they might know who this Q is?
Who's the
And-
new guard?
And you say that, and Valia looks at you for a moment and then looks back to Verity, who sighs and says, I guess. And then there's a loud snap. You see Action has like broken his little writing desk board and is like, excuse me. And he just stands up and walks into the kitchen.
Well, that was overly dramatic.
He doesn't get along well with the new guard. They are a faction of mercenaries within the city. They do mostly protection work. They are situated. During the meeting, did you see the big guy, the really, really, really big guy?
Everyone's big to me. You're gonna have to be more specific than that.
The one who was bigger than everyone else.
Tinker again looks at Forrest.
Bigger than Forrest.
Oh, that guy. Yes.
Yeah, he runs the new guard. So we have a small in with the new guard through Verity. We could possibly see if they know anything. Because honestly, the biggest question mark that I see in this, and she takes a sack of papers and she hands them down to Pharaoh, who's standing like below the counter, and he starts reading through it. She says, Q, I have no idea who that is.
I don't think we've ever met anyone called Q.
I think it's a code name, Forrest.
Code name?
Yeah, like when you want to remain hidden, so you use a name that's not your real name, so no one can track you.
Oh.
Like with Ulio when I signed as Trish.
Oh, so right, okay. Not his real name.
Yes.
It could be something else
Yes.
that's not Q,
Possibly.
but it still could be Q.
Absolutely.
Ah, that's very
That's
tricky.
That's right. Makes it tricky.
It's very tricky, and that's why by asking more people, we can narrow it down a little bit. And Sengreth says, I'll ask around some of my old pals in the Bulwark, see what they know. And Pharaoh, finishing reading the papers, hands them over to you, Tinker, and says, I'll see what the kids know.
Sounds good.
But yes, about that, and he looks at Valia. You wanted to pay them? You wanted to pay them? And Valia says, yes,
Pay us.
for getting Dumont to safety, and knowing, like gesturing towards the papers, knowing of our involvement and not throwing us under the bus.
Why? You've been nothing but good to us. You allow us to, well, frankly,
But we're also not really friends in that way, so you didn't really have a reason to. We don't
could be
know you.
friends.
We could be friends. We could be friends.
maybe I could destroy one less curtain.
Also,
That
I
would
don't
be
know
so
what a
nice.
bus is, but I feel like it'd be very difficult to throw all of you under whatever it is.
There are.
It's another one of those sayings, Forrest.
Oh,
Yes, it was something they
right.
tried in the city a couple of years ago. They tried to have these things, these large vehicles that would take people around the city for a fee. But turns out people just preferred walking, so it didn't really take off. And there was a few incidents where people would push each other in front of them, and they would get run over.
No,
That's
kind of
not
like
very
getting
nice.
squashed by a giant whale.
A little bit, yes.
Well, that I understand.
And you hear the closing of something heavy behind in the kitchen. And then Action comes out, and he's got like a fairly large little satchel with him. And he opens it and shows Valia. You think this is good? And she looks down, she nods, and he hands it over to whoever's the closest.
Who's the closest? Roll for it.
Probably. You know what?
Roll for it.
Let's roll for it.
Let's roll for it.
What are we rolling?
It's D6.
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 All right.
5.
1.
Oh, 3. Trish is closest.
Trish is closest. Also, I'm being called out for my bad wording. The words happen, but visualize it as a very it's a look. What did I say? I said
Think of
fairly
it
large
as a
little
small
satchel. No,
satchel, but
fairly
large.
full. No.
Oh.
Fairly full
Fairly full.
little satchel.
Okay,
there we
right.
go. There we go.
Bulging at the seams.
Yeah. Because what I'm doing when I narrate these things is usually I describe what I see in my head. That's where the words come from.
Yeah.
You know.
That makes sense.
So Trish, you are handed this satchel. It looks like it's got one of those shoulder straps for it. Looks like it's a nice satchel regardless. But it's definitely got some heft to it.
Yeah, right. Right.
And opening it up, it's got a fair amount of things in there.
Now I love things. Tinker attempts to dive up to have a look.
And she's just sort
Let
of
me
holding
look,
it
let me
back. Just wait a second. Jeez. You know, she starts looking in there herself before Tinker can get his grubby head in the road. And, like, is there anything, like, I guess, in Trish's mind, shiny or sparkling or something that's like...
Yes, there are a lot of sparkly, shiny things in there.
Okay.
First off, you immediately see that there's a little pouch of coins in the satchel.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
You also see what looks to be a sheathed dagger. A small piece of metal, like just a piece of flattened metal about the size of your palm, maybe.
So she will pull that out and just go, "This is for you, Tinker."
The metal. Tinker,
Yep,
you
just straight up.
immediately recognize the coloration of the metal to be the same as Forrest's armor.
Oh, actually, I think Forrest, this is for you.
Oh.
It looks the same as your armor.
Oh,
In
yeah.
fact, Tinker sort of knocks on the armor, and then knocks on the piece of metal.
He kind of just knocks them together. Boom, boom.
There's just like a little piece of adamantium.
I reckon if you take that to your smith friend, he might be able to do
Oh,
something for you.
Perhaps.
Um,
Thank you.
There are 2 more things in
Now
there.
I don't have anything, Trish.
just
I
wait.
gave my thing to Forrest.
I'm
You
just-
see
I'm trying to
what
look
is
through.
the size of a little flask, the size of a shot glass with a deep red liquid in it, which you would recognize as a healing potion.
Okay.
And then there is also a piece of polished, convex, like smoky looking gem.
All right. So after Trish having a look in it, she goes, okay, and just like starts like putting everything out on the table, except the coin pouch.
Okay.
So she
And-
starts.
Yeah, and
Well-
they look around and they're like Sengrath says, you don't have to look at it all right here. You can go back to your rooms. We don't really have anything else we would like to discuss. Besides, if you're staying past a couple of days, we'll need to know if you're planning on staying long term.
Oh, we will get back to you on that. We'll just see if Morel shows up in the next day or so, and then we'll let you know.
That's fair. It's just we with winds and stay coming and the rains, we get a lot of long-term visitors.
Well, we don't know if
So-
we're going to be run out of the city yet, so we'll see how that goes.
So
That's
Trish is gonna sleight of hand the coin pouch.
Oh shit! It's Arthur again.
Yeah, but
Sure,
he's
make
up
make a sleight of hand. What's everyone's passive perception?
13.
13.
That's a 17.
How much coins were in the coin pouch?
20 gold pieces.
Always the 1%ers robbing everyone else.
Okay.
The rich get richer and the poor get poorer.
Oh.
Not realizing it's that amount.
Oh yeah, now that you're counting out, you
Yeah, because it looked like, oh, there's a handful of coins, and then you
Oh.
open and it's gold.
So what Trish will do is she's going to mage hand 10 of those gold coins onto the table.
you can just sleight of hand it again.
I don't
What?
want to try and
Do
fight.
you have an invisible mage hand, though, or is it just
No,
regular
you
mage
don't.
hand?
It's a regular mage hand.
Is it? Oh, yeah, it is.
This is
And it's, I will point out, you look like an emberkin right now, but your mage hand looks like a
Like a-
purple scaled clawed hand.
Look at this cool party trick. Nah, all right, she's gonna stealth hand it. I thought it was
Sleight of
invisible.
hand.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna sleight of hand. Okay,
Yeah.
roll sleight of hand.
And throw 10 of them back on the table.
10 of,
I
10
mean,
of how many?
Yeah.
Sorry?
10 gold out of 20.
Yeah.
I feel like
You-
this just feels like you're just giving it back to them.
So yeah, out of the 20 gold, I put 10 on the table.
Okay. Yeah, so for everyone around, it just looks like Trish took like 10 gold coins out of the satchel and put it on the table in front of everyone.
Oh. Was this also in the satchel, Trish?
That is. And do you want satchel? Because I don't want it. And it's a good looking satchel. You could probably put all your stuff in there.
Trish.
And Tinker waves the bag of holding.
Yeah,
I'll never need another bag in my life.
but this one would look good on you. And like she's like,
Trish.
Sure.
This one's a cannon. This one's infinite. I'll never need another bag in my life.
And Valia looks over at you, Tinker. Backpack's a cannon?
Do you want to see?
Yes.
Wait, have I used it today? Hold on. Oh no.
I don't think so. We haven't fought anything, right?
No, not
He hasn't
today.
used it. And when this Tinker just takes off the backpack, because of course he was wearing it, slams it
Yeah.
down on the table, pulls the ripcord, and the legs come out, the flaps open, and it's a cannon. And he goes,
What can I shoot?
And please don't shoot anything, but may I? May I? And she's like reaching her hands out to it.
Oh, by all means. I'd love to get thoughts by another
And she
inquisitive
just
mind.
just like squats down in front of it and she starts looking at it and she pulls out of her pockets like measuring tools and a little sketch pad.
and Tinker does the same, like pulls out his sketch pad, and he's like showing her like the schematics and like how he made it, and how like technically like even like this end is, even though this end, well, one end is used as the output, and he says
Mhm.
this end can be used as an input, as he discovered very recently,
Ah.
but he doesn't say how he discovered it.
Okay.
But then he then says, however, it can be reversed. And and honestly, how he says it can be reversed makes no sense, but it just works. And if she
It
looks
just
in,
works.
it's just pitch black. She can't see anything in there.
It's
It's
darkness.
It's just darkness. It's not bag of holding like alternate dimension. It's just darkness.
She's just looking at it. Like I've seen similar things, but they're usually so clunky and obvious.
Oh no, this one's designed to be able to, I can just smuggle it in anywhere. You never know when you're going to need a cannon.
I know.
It's how I killed guys the other day. One of them was
Makes
about
sense.
to, one of them was about to jump down from a roof. I just pulled the cable and he went back onto the roof in 2 pieces.
Tinker's
Yeah,
like,
don't fire it indoors, please.
Oh no, don't worry. I set this one to flamethrower mode. It's fine.
As you say flamethrower mode, you see Action immediately goes and takes his books and moves them away. He's like, no.
And I think
And I
my-
will say, as you say flamethrower, all members of Daughters of Flame look at you. And Valia also stands up and says,
Did I say something wrong?
yeah, we're not too keen on fires around here.
Sorry. That's again. I'm sorry. I apologize. I can put it. It won't do anything unless I tell it to.
Daughters of the
It's
Flame,
verbally
not keen
commanded?
on fires?
Or more like it's kind of weird. I can either pull it. It's think of it like this. When I pull this cable, what I
Yes?
think is what it'll do.
How does that work? She leans in.
I don't actually know. I was just
You You built this, but you don't know how it works.
Not so loud. I don't know. I was just fooling around, and next thing I knew, it had legs and it fired. It just fired.
And she's looking at you. Are you mad or a genius?
And with this, everything drops from Tinker, and he just flashes that smile.
Both.
So, in the satchel, Trish, the last objects. So there is a healing potion.
Yep.
And there's also what looks like a small circular convex item that is like very opaque, dark opaque.
Okay. She puts them out on the table as well.
Okay. Tinker and Forrest immediately recognize that the dark object is a lens.
Yeah, I thought as such. I was thinking it, but I didn't want to say it until it was given to us.
Yeah. And I think with all of those items revealed, we're going to take our break. And we just got raided! Welcome in, everyone! Mims!
Perfect time.
Oh, thank you so
Mims,
much for the raid,
amazing.
everyone.
I was
Welcome,
hanging
Brandis.
out in Mims a
Welcome,
lot
you
stream the
chatters.
other day. There was Bloodborne going on. It was the best
Ooh.
time. We were all just talking about TTRPGs. We were having a great time. Yes, we are just about to take a break. They have gotten their first big loot haul of the game.
Well,
And also, as we're going on break, I'm going to say...
Trish.
Yeah. God
Hang
damn
on.
it, Arthur.
Hang on.
That's just Arthur coming back.
I've had to pay
No,
so
I know
much
what it
of
is.
Tinker's shit.
Trish is Gen 2 Pokemon mom taking a cut of the money for saving.
Because okay, let's think about it for
Trish
a second. Right?
saving? I've never heard of it.
Well, hold on. Because Forrest doesn't quite understand the concept
Oh,
and
no.
the value of money.
Not at all. I
And
mean,
no.
he just recognizes that there's potential pirates on the table.
That's right.
Yeah. There's
And-
his pirate fund is growing.
Mm.
Yeah.
And this is
very
in
Tinker
fact
is just
actually
gonna,
gold
like,
this time.
it's actual gold. That's right. We can actually go find pirates now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Tinker's just gonna either lose it or spend it or squander it in some way. So it actually kind of makes sense that Trish held on to half of it. Still,
In game, yes, but
no,
we
it's
players
not
know that
admitting-
Orb
Yeah,
is
we
going to do
players know it's
shenanigans
just
with this.
freaking orb.
yeah, Orb just,
It's
yeah,
Orb.
of course, yeah, Orb just wants
It's
to.
Orb
was just
claiming
looking-
loot.
It's just
I'm
self-insert
just
yet
trying to
again.
recoup some money that I lost
Can we?
through you guys.
No. We are all having flashbacks all the way back to session 1 of
Session
last
1
campaign.
campaign
The
one.
first time you stole loot.
Yeah,
And we
was
never
first
trusted you
session.
again.
never again.
Never again.
Never again.
Oh my gosh! And
Thank you for reinforcing our preconceived notions.
Yeah, we thought
Yeah.
thought after 3 years Orb and a new character you
You had
might have
changed.
changed.
Yeah.
but
No.
New character.
Turns
Maybe
out-
it's not just orb. Maybe it was just the character. No, it's just orb.
you can take the Arthur Orblet away from Orb, but you can't take the Orb away from Trish. You know that's
Yeah.
Trish.
Yeah.
Also,
Smorgasbord.
do you want to hear some words that are usually very well received by TTRPG players?
What's that?
You want to hear some of those words that you've been longing for?
I mean, I long for so many words.
I know what you're gonna say.
I
I
don't
know
want
what
to
you're
get
gonna say.
excited, but just
I know
tell
what
us
you're
the
gonna
words.
say. I know what you're gonna say.
Would you like to level up?
Yes.
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 Can we?
Yes.
You can. You can.
Yes. Okay, now I'm getting excited.
Yay.
Oh, we love leveling up.
I will
Oh,
point
oh,
out because first off, I want to do this in front of the people as well.
Mhm.
Okay.
Does anyone plan on multi-classing this level?
No.
Oh, I have been looking.
Okay.
Don't know if I want to do it.
Are you gonna multi-class into rogue this campaign as well?
No, he's gonna multiclass into Ranger and then Rogue.
Oh yeah.
But he just wanted a few levels in Bard so he could call himself a Barb, you know?
He's actually
Actually
just
Bard.
playing Arthur Oblet again, but he wanted that one level in Bard first.
He's reincarnated.
Yeah. God damn it. Not
You
again.
want him to be able to give the bardic inspiration, all right?
To who? When?
So we can get even more damage.
No, we
Oh,
should stop
that's
roasting
right.
Orb and go on our
How
break,
was
'cause I
how
need to
was
pee.
stream
Yeah, I need to go
names
to
as
toilet.
well? You got go toilet, but I wanna. So no one's planning on multiclassing.
I honestly haven't really thought about it. I'm not a big fan. I don't know. I've just literally never thought about it. Maybe I will, but like I feel like the whole Artificer, it is a multi-class.
Orb jumped out the window.
Oh, literally, what the fuck?
Yeah, when he
This is
left-
gone.
On the overlay, it looked like he jumped out the window.
Okay,
too good.
Denny, we need you to cut all that ribbing we just gave Orb, then cut to him jumping out the window.
With a Wilhelm
Oh,
scream
last
like at the
session-
beginning. Yeah.
Denny edited the start of last session when I cough to just a big zoom in on me when I do it.
Nice.
But yes,
Danny's
okay.
doing God's work. Can we be
But
RB now?
one
So I
thing-
can-
Yes, if you want to be RB,
Hmm.
we can take it in turns because I would like to say or talk about the level up. So rather than going to BRB screen, can you just
Oh.
leave us here?
I can.
That would be lovely.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll BRB then.
Okay.
All right. Well, I
Let's
will
see.
go refill my drink if you're holding fort, Josie.
I will, and I will be talking to the people because I want to.
We love the people, and we love talking
We
to them.
love the people. We love the people. How are you all doing, people? How are the people? I want to know what happened during was it Meta Blues? Were you doing Meta Blues? I think so. It says D&D. I assume you were doing Meta Blues. Was it a good time? Did you have fun? Did you win? God, I'm starting to get hungry. But yes, something we're doing different this campaign when it comes to level ups. Because the party is hitting level 4, they cannot choose feats. Well, level 4, you get to choose usually ability score improvements or a feat. We are not using feats because they are granted as they reach personal milestones. All the characters have a feat they have earned through actions. Forrest has the Strike of Giants. Mirel has Actor. Trish has what's it called? Draconic Resilience or something like that. Dragon, one of the dragon feats. And Tinker has Keen Mind, as we have mentioned many, many times. Well, there you go.
Love it.
So the next morning,
We slept.
you all wake up early, fairly early. You can all take a long rest.
Let's go.
Love those numbers.
You can recover, since we did a level up. I will say everyone can recover all of their hit dice.
You're too good to us, Josie.
Well,
Just good enough.
what does it mean when you find a health station?
Yeah,
in the game?
that's exactly why I made that comment. I was like, it's like, here's some resources for me to take away from you again. Yes.
Oh, why is this box of health next to this box of
Yeah.
ammunition? Right in front of a big door.
Good times ahead.
Oh.
12
Fine, I take
villain
it back,
DM,
Josie. You're
List.
completely neutral to us.
Honestly,
No, we love it.
it was just a good moment.
It was a
It
good
was
moment.
because I went through
Did a good
and
night.
I was like, oh, it's been 12 sessions since I last leveled up.
It hasn't
wow.
really? Hasn't
Yeah.
felt like that.
Last time you leveled up was after the whole ordeal in the auction house and the first run in the
Oh,
sewers.
yeah.
Right.
Right.
So we really need to speed run to level 5 though, guys. Okay, we got this. I really want level 5.
Everyone wants level 5, I think. Level 5 is when things happen.
Level 5 is when I can fly.
Level 5 is when Forrest can hit twice.
Bonk bonk.
Also, if we're really, really, really nice, Mirel will know Fireball.
Oh,
Fire.
oh yes.
But you wake up, you're served breakfast, a hearty breakfast. You get some coffee, some oatmeal, and a few bread rolls. And as you're enjoying your breakfast, the tavern hasn't officially opened to outside guests, only those staying here are having breakfast right now, but there is a rap on the door, like a very hasty, heavy knock. Valia is not here right now. Instead, you see Sengreth has been serving you food with the help of Pharaoh. Sengreth goes to open the door, and as soon as he opens it, his body language stiffens. And he opens the door. And in, through, with the winds picking up outside, whipping the fluffy mane of Harald Manson, who steps in, wearing his bulwark uniform, that with those deep greens and reds and a bit of rust coloration to them, with metal details, and he's got his badge on his shoulder, a shield emblem with an anvil and a hammer. He steps in, and he says, "It's good to see you all here together. Well, except I suppose Mirel
Oh,
is not here."
yeah. I was gonna go looking for her last night after the meeting ended.
Okay. How long did you spend looking?
Until I either found a clue or got tired, I suppose.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Okay.
While you guys are prospecting stuff, did you guys take your 10 gold?
It's not bad.
Break that up?
18.
Well,
That's actually a good reminder. Thank you. I did.
Five
Forrest
gold
would never
each.
have picked it up, so someone would have to hand it to him.
Tinker would have seen that Forrest did not pick it up and picked it up for him.
all right. And then there's the health potion, the lens. Want to make sure you guys grab that stuff too.
Forrest, with an 18,
Tinker would just take it.
you would have picked up a trail eventually, like the scent of good fish, and you would have followed it to the large gated community of the Towers of Iron.
Towers of Iron. We've not been there, right?
Forrest hasn't been there.
Towers of... Oh, right. It's on the east side of the city, looking at the map.
Yes, it is very much the gated community part of town. Big mansions with fences all around them.
Ah, all right.
And you find the edge of this scent. This trail leads into one of these houses.
Mm.
But you also see that there's what looks like private guards standing around it.
Mm. Mm.
And it's not really a fresh trail. It's the only trail.
Mm. And in the course of following the path, there's no signs of. I didn't find any blood or obvious struggle.
No
or
signs of
anything.
struggle. No signs of struggle at all. No torn fabric pieces.
Cool.
Nothing like that.
All right. He might actually ask one of the guards. It's like, "Oh, hello. Excuse me. I'm looking for my friend named Morel," and kind of just gives a quick description. Have you seen her coming through this way?
They look at each other, and you see one of them, who is a younger Kinman, says, "I expect most of the servers to be asleep this time of night."
just worried about my friend.
Well, if they're inside sleeping, they're safe, right?
Sure, but did you see?
It's a bit odd to have someone come by here in the middle of the night looking for people. Are you sure you're in the right place, big fella?
I think so. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, you're asking for Morel.
Hey, that's right.
Yeah, she's asleep.
Oh, so you did see her?
Well, yeah, Morel, she works here.
She works here?
Yeah.
Oh.
You didn't? Are you sure you know this person?
Oh, aye. We've been travelling together for some time.
Traveling? What are you on about? Sir, I think you better go home and have some
she's
sleep
okay.
yourself. Yeah, Morel's okay.
All right. Well, thank you. That makes me feel better. Good night. And he heads back.
Good night.
Heads back to the inn.
And you, like, as you're leaving, you hear the other one say, "He was surprisingly polite. I expected a scuffle."
Where's my friend?
Okay.
I'm really sorry I'm doing this.
Just walks up to them and says, "I have a very particular set of skills." So you return to the Daughters of Flame. You get a good night's rest.
Yep.
But now, in the morning, Harald stands there. He's wearing his full guard uniform. Looks even like it might have been cleaned. Like, he just looks polished. His mane and his beard looks combed.
Mm. Morning, Harold.
Good morning, Forrest. I unfortunately have to ask that you all come with me to relay some more information about yesterday's events. And Forrest, I would like to speak with you in private, if that is possible, afterwards.
Oh, of course, friend.
Am I able to finish my breakfast first?
Sure, but do not take too long.
Join us for some food, Harold.
No, don't worry about me. I've eaten.
You sure?
Yes.
All right. Over at the Bulwark, then.
Yes. Well, do you remember where I spoke with all of you the first time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's where we're going.
Roger doesn't remember,
see.
but hopefully Forrest does.
There was like a little police box office situation.
Ah, okay. Yep.
Trish is like shoveling down food now, like just trying to carry it along.
So you're all led towards this area. Harald walks in front, and he seems stiff and stern. He doesn't have his usual, like, he keeps looking back at all of you, and almost like he has to remind himself to be an authority figure, but he just wants to ask how you're all doing. That kind of level.
I was gonna say maybe I could detect thoughts from him.
That would be.
That's still casting a spell.
Remember, you've got that bracelet on.
Yeah.
So
You're being monitored.
Yeah, nah, she doesn't do anything. She is. Yeah.
You're led to this office section. It's more like if you would imagine a staff room attached to a police box. That kind of vibe to it. You were here before. There are a few tables with benches and seats. It seems to have a little cooking area. And as you are led in, the blinds are drawn. Harald opens the door and gestures for you all to step in. Forrest, you have to like lean your head down a little bit to get through the door. Inside, you see with a very nice white pressed shirt and a tan leather vest, pair of spectacles on his nose. You recognize the individual known as Bramal, one of the headmasters of the Ingenuity. And sitting almost next to him, but with a respectful distance, you see a very well-dressed, very decorated, very accessorized, platinum blonde human.
It's the villain.
But you all know that this is Nayla in her disguise. Well, to be fair,
Tinker's revealed it to Forrest.
okay, you have?
Yeah, he explained it.
Okay, good. And Brommel immediately stands up and says, "Feel free to have a seat.
Trish
We just
doesn't
want
sit.
to ask some questions, in the presence of the Bulwark, of course," and Harald nods, "to confirm some of the details of what you said." And Brommel puts the 2 stones on the table.
You guys here in your heads,
Oi.
do not trust them. Do not trust them.
He didn't have to tell Tinker that.
No, no.
He did not.
No, maybe Forrest.
Forrest
but-
probably needs a reminder
Yeah,
every now and
yeah.
Forrest
then.
definitely needs a reminder.
But he's also aware that this is the person who attacked us, essentially. So
Yeah.
so he's got his frowny face on right now.
Oh, now that's
Brommel puts his hand out, clasped on the table. You can see his folded up sleeves, and on his dark, ashy skin, he's got these white tattoos that resemble, old classic blueprints on blue paper. So he's got like white tattoos and like diagrams, geometric shapes, even some mathematical formulas and stuff, just all over his arms. I would just like to ask some questions of clarification. And he adjusts his glasses. These objects, are those the original recording?
Oh, no, not at all.
May I ask who is speaking?
Oh, it was quite a tricky location to get the recording. So, it was a tiny cave. The weather was horrible. It was
Tiny
awful.
cave. What were you doing in a tiny cave?
Looking
And then
like you
Harald
want.
steps forward. They were sent as part of community service to retrieve escaped convict Dumont von Hansen, and assured me that there was no way to save him, and they were actually just about to, I believe, show me this when the meeting started yesterday. So they were about to debrief about the situation. But yes, I will hold myself responsible for this. I am the one who gave them this task to complete.
Yes. So those aren't the originals. I had to record it, but I also, and now that Tinker is assured that there are other copies of this out there in some way, shape, or form, he now produces the original paper. He goes,
Okay.
I spent last night thinking that this horrible recording might not be enough, so here is a written out version.
Ah, a transcript. And Bramal takes it and starts reading through. This is very damning. If true, you understand that this puts a lot of people in precarious positions.
Well, especially you two, yes.
Yes, and
Harold,
you are
normal
aware
that the
that
people that are being accused are actually in the meeting here reading the evidence? Is this normal?
No, but this situation is not normal in itself. We have, unfortunately, if this is Dumon's statement, he is a notorious liar.
However, it immediately marries up to the information presented by the scrapped one yesterday, does it not?
Except the detail of who is to be marked as the culprit.
Which we couldn't find out until you pushed what's-her-name into the thingamabob.
Where'd she go?
We all saw it.
Brummel says, everyone saw it, and I will admit it was hasty actions on my part.
Hasty actions land people in hot water, you know.
I'm pretty sure if we pushed someone into some portal to nowhere, I'm pretty sure we'd be in a lot of trouble.
Well, the scrapped one has assured me that she is in a safe place and that she will be retrieved when it is time for her interrogation. I was actually going to ask all of you if you might be open to helping with that, since you are invested.
You probably tampered with her anyway, so...
When's
No,
your
we have
interrogation?
We have not done anything of the sort.
How can you prove that?
Well, we've been assured by the scrapped one who created this artificial seed.
I don't know, you can trust that guy as far as you can throw him.
Why wouldn't we trust him? He's an important part of the city.
Oh, well, so are you. So is her.
Yes.
It depends what you're trusting him to do. You can trust bad people to do bad things.
But the scrapped one provided evidence and testimony that Vanya was behind it all. But you are asking us to trust the word of a known criminal over
I'm not asking
his?
you to trust anything. I'm asking them, and Tinker indicates the Herald, to trust our judgment.
Well, I don't even think anyone needs to trust anything other than what's true. So if you didn't know what's true, you should find out, should you not?
Yes, which is why we've been assured that Vanya is well and alive, and to be retrieved and recovered from within the seed. And I was simply going to offer you the opportunity to do this for us, if you wanted to be more involved and question her yourselves. I am simply offering you the opportunity to do your own investigation in tandem with us.
So why do you want us to do investigation?
Shouldn't you get an independent third party to do that?
Or is this a
Are you not
freelance
an
thing?
independent? It is a freelance thing, and we would in this case consider you the third party.
Us independent when I'm the one who's bringing forth someone's testimony?
Which you didn't have to. Your involvement just began.
Yes, there's that accursed voice in the back of my head that started developing, telling me to do good things.
I'm simply giving you the opportunity to continue.
I'm sorry. I don't understand. If we are to believe that what Dumont said was true, and that you two are the bad guys, why should we be doing anything that you tell us?
I'm giving you the opportunity. You don't have to.
Trish is going to look over at Harold. What sort of vibe is he giving off right now?
What do you make of all this, Harold?
Okay, I will say, Trish, make an insight check. Harold says, well, in my line of work, it is important that we accrue all pieces of evidence for our investigations. And we have to take into account all scenarios. Trish, with your insight, you can see that Harold is conflicted. He feels trapped between a rock and a hard place. He wants to trust what you are saying, but he also wants to trust in the system. He wants to trust what he's been taught. and he's conflicted. He's stuck between his professional duty and his personal opinion.
Harold, can I ask you, because I didn't know, if these two were the bad people, as was told, what would you do?
If evidence was given to prove that they were the ones behind all of this, they would face a trial of court. They would be prosecuted, sentenced. They would have to pay for their crimes, whatever a judge might deem necessary.
So, dropping a Leviathan on people, killing a whole bunch of people, dropping it on me, that's at least one little bite, I feel. Just a little bite, just a small one. I'd feel like that'd be quite a lot of crimes to pay for.
Yes, if it was proven that these two were behind it, but unfortunately the evidence are to the contrary. I understand that you have brought forth evidence, but the validity is questionable.
I mean, there's a simple solution, right? An incredibly simple solution that all of you, for some strange reason, have completely missed.
Do tell us, Brahma leans in.
The spell that was cast on the lady before you pushed her in. Have it cast on you.
Have it cast on me, or all of us.
Yes, have it cast on me. I don't mind. I have nothing to hide in this topic.
We could arrange that. We could have an open forum with all involved, but once again, if we're doing that, why not have Vanya present as well?
The fact that you agree to that makes me suspicious, and now we're not doing it. I can just bite them until they tell me the truth, Harold. Can we do that?
Well,
And Harold looks down on you. Tinker, if you do that, I will have to throw you in jail.
I know. It's just so much simpler that way.
I don't know. Why don't
And
you
Nyla,
just...
at this, as you say that, Tinker, Nyla just goes, barbaric.
And then she Trish hears this and goes, barbaric? Barbaric? He is anything but barbaric. He's stood up for friends. He's helped us. You don't get to call him that.
And from what I heard, you're responsible for getting us attacked in that alleyway.
And at this, Harold looks over at all of you.
Yeah,
And then looks at Nyla.
Have you spoken to our friend that put us in that cell the other day recently? Because,
Who? Are you referring to Carl?
yes.
What about him?
He said he's been doing some digging. Found out it was this one, and Tinker points to Nyla, that got our attackers...
Oh, just to clarify, Carl
Carl is
was
the bad guy.
the
Oh,
bad
no,
guy.
no. Sorry.
Alex is the
Alex,
other captain.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Several
If I
times.
go
Well,
down yet.
if I remember correctly, it was Trish's friend here that told Trish to go to this place where we were then ambushed by a whole bunch of thugs, and who was specifically targeting Trish, who was sent there.
You were ambushed? That's horrible.
Aye,
Who
but you
then
know all
also
about that.
paid bail to get said thugs out of jail.
Aye, you did that, didn't you?
Reported
Me?
by Alex.
Alex said I posted bail for a notorious criminal.
No, Alex said you were seen talking to them.
Well, I talked to a lot of people.
What were you talking to them about?
Is that important?
It is.
They attacked me. Depending on your answer, I'll have to bite you. And then go to jail.
Do not bite them, Tinker.
And then go to jail.
Look, you might have attacked me, and that's fine, but you attacked my friend Trish here, and that's not cool. That's not acceptable.
I haven't done nothing of the sort. I was helping a newcomer to the city.
Why can't you just tell us the truth and He's gonna command.
I am telling the truth. Are you gonna command?
Yep.
Okay.
He's like that. Truth is just like he's just like he doesn't understand why people just. He's like understanding now that people are lying about things, but he doesn't. He's like, it's like this is not a comfortable truth. He doesn't like this. So
Okay.
So yeah, he's like the emphasis truth, and that comes through as a command.
Oh,
Okay. What's your spell save DC?
Oh, it's not high. It's terrible. It's 12.
Okay.
It's a wisdom
12.
save.
Wisdom save 12. Just let me
we don't
do
know
some
what
thinking.
class Nyla is, so
No.
No.
I'm just checking some ruling. And she sort of like, truth? I have said nothing but the truth.
Yeah, well, to someone who's used to lying every day, truth can probably get lost in the water, I suppose.
Harold, are you really going to allow them to speak to us like this? And Harold looks around. Well, Tinker, Trish, Forrest,
Hey.
are you wanting to press charges? Are you accusing something right now?
Oh, Harold's my man. I love him.
I don't know what pressing charges is, but they definitely did the thing that we're saying they did. And it's and I think that if we got thrown in jail for not doing nothing but defending ourselves, then they should be in jail for causing us to have to defend ourselves. That seems fair to me.
So,
Harold. Sorry, Harold.
Yes.
I know you're about to say something.
it's all right.
You would have records of who would post bail on people, right?
We would, yes.
Yes. I did ask Alex, and he was a bit flustered at the time, but
Hmm.
could you not go through those records to see where said money come from?
Follow the money
I
trail.
could.
Even better, could you just send for Alex? Doesn't he work for the Bulwark?
It is quite a distance. It would take some time for him to get here.
Oh, that's convenient, isn't it?
So, if it's all right with you, I would like to say maybe send Tinker with one of you guys to go have a look at the books and the ledgers and make sure that they're right, while we stay here with these two.
Those are official city documents. We can't just have anyone read through them.
Oh, Nail,
Are
you're
we-
so
are-
afraid to spend
it's
some
not
time with a
anyone.
little
Are
kobold
we-
like me.
We're not
I
just
would
anyone.
happily go read through the ledgers.
Can Tinker go with you at least? Not so much to read, but to make sure.
And Prommel holds his hands up. If you want to accuse us of anything, or Nyla, it sounds like, that's all well and good. We will stand for our crimes. But right now, we have other issues to work out first. You were sent to retrieve Dumont, but failed?
Oh, no, we didn't fail. Tinker reaches into the bag of holding, pulls out the crystal, and slams it on the table.
Yeah, and
How
it's
else
like,
would we have gotten this statement?
so
he
you're
was-
saying you found him alive?
Yes.
We found him. He was turning into crystal at the time.
But we're not dragging him all the way back here.
And so you took his statement and left him to perish?
It was his last wishes. And you'd have to be a barbarian, Tinker looks at Nyla, to not respect someone's final wishes.
We could not travel during the night when we got there, and it was too late for us to be able to save what was left.
I see. And so you managed to bring back this.
As evidence to prove it does happen.
Because otherwise Harold would have just thrown us in jail again. He could have said, "Oh,
That's
you
fair.
didn't do it."
Would you then, Harald, if this is evidence? And Harald nods and says, Tinker, I'm going to need that piece to have it tested.
That's fine, I suppose.
And Harald puts on a pair of gloves and takes up the crystal piece and puts it in his, like a bag on his side, and it just vanishes in it. Good, Tinker. I will make sure that this is all dealt with in accordance with city law.
Don't
Now-
let them stop you doing your job, Harold. You don't have
I
to
will
take
not.
it from
They
those two.
do not have the authority to prevent me from doing my job.
Speaking of jobs, say that we do want to go find this person in Interrogator. Where is she?
Brahmal says, she's still within the seed.
What's a seed? Like, I know what a seed is, but like,
Well,
that was not a seed as far as I have seen.
it is called an artificial seed. And everyone here, you can make a history check.
Ooh.
History. Rich has been reading the books.
I probably shouldn't bother, but I'm going to anyway.
Tinker's just smart.
Shit.
Oh, not as
shit.
smart as Chris. Not as smart as
Never
Chris.
mind. We
Oh
all.
god, what are
Why-
these rolls?
Why'd we even
Hey,
ask about it? We already know.
Chris grabbed the book out. I
Chris
have that
tells us
series.
instead. Go on, Orb. Tells us what an artificial seed is.
There's no way that Forrest actually knows what an artificial seed is. He would have never come across that
No.
in his life.
But he would probably, through context clues of what Tinker and Trish might say, clock on to having
Make some
been
connections.
near
potentially.
something similar.
Hmm.
So, with that knowledge, through various means, Tinker, through experimentation, through reading random books, hearing stories, Trish, through her studies, through her interest in history and books, and through her duty, what she's meant to do is to learn as much as she can about the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, Trish, you immediately know. You've not heard the expression artificial seed before, but there is something called a dimensional seed. It is where the energy of the vortex that spews out into the world constantly, where this energy coalesces and purifies and congeals, and eventually collapses in on itself, creating a stationary, localized pocket dimension.
Does Trish know how powerful someone would have to be to cast something like this?
This is not a spell you cast.
Okay.
This is like a magical, natural effect, like a piece of carbon over time turning to diamond. This is
Okay.
something that happens over very long periods of time naturally.
Yep.
And they are usually somewhat unstable.
Right. Okay.
But there are some written testimonies of people, mostly members of the League of Explorers, who have entered some of these rifts, some of these seeds, and have spoken up about what they've seen inside. That it's usually very elementally shifted. It sometimes has an ecosystem, sometimes it's just empty.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, and
Yeah.
Forrest would probably have heard speak of such places within the Wandering Woods, where there are places where you can hide inside trees, or if you swim to the bottom of the lake, you might come up like on the other side of an upside down lake.
If they're things that occur naturally, then yeah, that he probably might connect something like that. Definitely.
Yeah. And Tinker, you probably would never have seen one, but you would have heard about them. You would have read about them. A grandpappy would have told you stories about, like, oh, once during a cave-in, they found one, and it had to be dealt with.
There's a grandpappy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's. Oh my
you
god!
got,
Imagine.
you got something alluded to as well earlier in the session, if anyone was paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grandpappy will tinker.
Grandpappy Tinker.
There was a bit of
Yeah.
a clue dropped.
Happy slabby snap.
So Bromal continues saying, since the scrapped one built this artificial seed, it was only reasonable that he should be the one to keep it, make sure it stays stable. And once Vanya has been retrieved from within, it is to be dismantled safely, which is why, once again, it has stayed with the scrapped one.
So, when are they getting her out then?
Well, if you are not taking up this opportunity to do it yourselves, we will be contacting volunteers, freelancers, members of the Bulwark.
But are
Hold
they
on,
getting her
hold
out of there, or are they saying that we should go in?
Well, someone has to go in to get her out.
Well, it should be the
So
people.
you don't know where
Apparently-
it
Should it
goes?
not?
According to the scrapped one, it goes into a semi-designed space made according to specifications. And within there is a way to get out, but it cannot be done by one person.
I
Look,
just want to put forward, this is very suspicious.
I
Oh,
wanna
let's
say,
send the... Oh,
right, like,
We are
sometimes-
simply offering you this
I-
opportunity.
sometimes-
You will get paid.
Chris-
There is compensation.
ooh,
Chris
pages.
goes, if we take this opportunity,
Yes.
we would have to go in there.
Yes.
But let's say one of you guys got to come with us.
We can
Oh,
definitely
please let
send
it
a
be
represent.
Nyla.
And she looks at you like,
Come do some groundwork for
No.
a change. Get
I
your
have
hands busy.
so much work to do. Do you realize the
Is
amount
this-
of work on my desk now that Vanya is gone?
Oh, you've got to write a few
But
words,
do
and snap a
you-
few stamps. That's work. Pfft.
And Bromo holds a hand up again and says, we can definitely send a representative.
No, I want
No.
her.
No,
We're going in. I want her.
Make a persuasion check.
Here's the thing.
I'm
right?
gonna boost it. I'm gonna give you bardic inspiration.
Let's
yes,
go.
go Tinker,
Yeah,
go
and
Tinker.
I'm just wanting to.
I'm
just
even gonna
first been wanting
push.
to say this for a little bit. Like,
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Shoot.
here's the thing. Sometime in the forest, people hunt, people leave traps. You dinna get someone out of a trap by putting yourself in the trap as well.
Which is exactly why we're offering to send someone along with you. To make sure to
How do
prove
I-
to you that this isn't a trap.
But if you're just sending someone you dinna care about, not a friend of yours, who you don't care about, you just could be sending them into the trap to be stuck in there along with the person you threw in there for no good reason.
Exactly my point. That's why I want her.
I think the hunter who set the trap should be the one to open it. That's how we do it.
But according to the scrapped one's testimony, the trap was designed by Vanya.
So it's a trap.
He simply... I'm using your metaphor. If it's a trap. It
And-
was designed by Vanya.
But we're saying it was designed by Vanya and you two,
And us too.
which is why
I'm
we want-
afraid I don't know what the inside of this seed looks like. I'm sure the scrapped one would be more than willing to tell you more.
Would you say that the purpose of this thing was to keep someone in there, whoever got put in?
I don't know. I didn't create it. All I know is what the scrapped one has told me since, which is
Who
that
was it that
a
pushed-
singular person cannot get out on their own.
Who was it that? So it is a trap then.
I suppose. But if multiple people can get out, then we send a lot of people.
Then send one more.
Yes.
And Nyla.
and looks at you,
if
and
it's such a-
at this, yeah.
If it's such a
Harl
simple,
Wilson.
quick thing, then there should be no problem. You can get right back to your, what Trish said, rubber stamps.
You are not from this city, are you,
Oh
sir?
no. I'm from a
So
much
I-
nicer place, actually, now that I've been here for a little bit.
Well, that's a bit hurtful, but things work a certain way here. I'm sure where you come from, you also have leaders. And if said leader did everything themselves, who would lead? I am a part of the ingenuity. It is my responsibility to delegate to make sure this town functions, the city, everything. There's so much going on here. If I tried to do everything myself, nothing would be done.
Sure. Generally, we trust the people that are leading us, though, and I don't think none of us trust you right now.
We are chosen by the people, voted in.
I don't
For
think any of
our-
us chose you.
Well, you are not citizens of Hague, are you? You're
We're
outsiders.
freelance.
Exactly.
I
That,
think you should come
and
with
you
us.
would get paid.
What if instead of payment, we want you two to come with us?
You would be willing to forsake compensation just to prove a point?
Oh, you have no idea how far I will go to prove a point.
Make that persuasion check with advantage and with bardic inspiration. And do remember you have your free push.
Don't fail us now.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So hang on. Let's.
You are
Let's just-
shouldering all of the consequences, but also all the merits.
Put it like that, Josie. Oh no.
Whether this goes good or bad,
Okay.
it's all on you.
All right. Persuasion.
Yes.
Okie dokie. All right. Well, we'll roll for the advantage, and then we'll add the bardic inspiration and the push.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
If
the
you want
first
to, push,
roll-
you don't have to.
is a 9.
Oh, hey.
Oh,
I know this might be pushing it. Feel free to say no. But because I was still, like, going through my spells, could I say I prepared Bless?
What are the components for bless?
Does it have components?
Ooh.
As
Oh,
in, like,
Oh, yeah,
Verbal
technically it
somatic
says it's got a
material.
sprinkling of holy water.
well, it's. I'm not talking about the material. It's more, but it has. That means because command is only a verbal. That's only voice.
Yeah. Verbal
But
semantic
bless,
material.
yeah, which means that it would be much more obvious that something magical is happening. So you'd have to make a check to get away with it.
But Forrest doesn't try to cast anything. You know?
No, but magic is still happening. This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
different.
yeah.
Mirel specifically
So-
has a feature to avoid
yeah, but
this.
the point
Something-
is he's not ever trying to hide it because he's not trying to do it in the first place, as far as he's
Okay.
concerned. It's
So
more,
it would be obvious.
it's
then
more
if
it's more that
did
he
it.
like it's more that he goes, "That's exactly right, Tinker," and claps him on the shoulder.
Yes,
and-
but it would still be obvious that something magic is happening. Is what I'm saying.
Possibly to other people, not to Forrest necessarily.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. It would be obvious to other people. If you want to do it, then do it. You go for
Yeah.
it.
No,
But,
absolutely.
Any
but it
advantage you-
might come with its own consequences. But I will say that bless is not the one you want here because it doesn't help.
Does it not?
No, that's for saving throws and attack rolls.
Oh, what's the one
It's
I'm thinking of?
guidance.
Oh,
Guidance,
I don't
yeah,
have
that's-
guidance, so I
yeah,
guess never
guidance
mind
is-
then.
yes,
'Cause that's
that's
not
fine.
the thing I wanted.
That's not what I wanted.
I was just like, yeah, I can add a D4. I was like, no, okay, I see. I didn't read it properly. I got excited.
All right. Well, we'll go for the second roll for the advantage, which statistically should technically. Fuck.
Statistically, yeah,
Right. Okay.
right.
We're gonna
So-
add.
okay.
Why does Tinker?
So you get a D6, and if you push, also a D4.
All right. So we're gonna do the D6 and
Okay.
the D4. I'm just gonna roll both. 'Cause I
Just
got
roll
a
both.
9 is
Rip
not
it
gonna
off like a
close anyone.
band-aid. I'm gonna say 15 or above.
16 will do it though. If you just said 15
Oh,
or above.
shit.
Hell yeah.
And so as you say that, you have no idea how far. Brombald says, "Very well.
Oh,
Nyla will
wait.
come with you." And she's like, "Excuse me?" And that's where we're gonna end for today.
because you
Yes.
know he's looking for an excuse to get rid of her. So he
Yeah.
can now
We're
finish
getting
the
more
scheme
villains
himself.
thrown under the bus.
But that's
But that's
okay.
the great
That's
thing, because villains love
that's-
squealing when they're thrown under the bus by other villains.
Absolutely. And you
Yeah,
know how
yeah.
she's going to squeal the most is when you start nibbling on toes.
So yeah, that with that roll succeeded, Nyla will be forced to come with you.
Yes, excellent.
Orb, Trish and Tinker can have. We can go to
Oh,
Yeah, we're getting into a prison dimension.
Because what happens in the prison dimension stays in the prison dimension.
This I'm gonna have to do a lot of writing because I did not expect this, and I'm gonna have to think about some ripple effects
Oh, we
for
love
this.
it. We love it.
Yeah,
I'm so happy that worked. I was so worried that wasn't gonna.
it was a thing further down the line, but getting Naila involved in this may just tweak things. Like the river's
Yeah.
still flowing, but which direction will it go?
I don't even care about I don't actually, as in, I think Tinker just wants to see her squirm. Ever since she just blazingly said that he was a criminal to Trish, when he was
Yeah.
legit just trying to help in his way, he's just.
like twisted Trish's mind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and as far as Forrest is concerned, it's like, it's gone from new city, lovely, all these amazing new people, to be like, why
Everyone
would
has
Trish's
an
friends
agenda.
try and get us killed? Why are these people wanting to hurt people for no reason? Why are they then not being honest about it? This is all terrible.
This is terrible,
All
and
right.
you've gotten yourself thrown right into the middle of it.
Yeah.
Hey, now we're involved. The scrap one said we weren't involved. Now we're involved.
See, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
justice for Trish is what
Justice
Forrest
for
wants.
Trish.
Oh
yeah.
yep. Hashtag
Yeah.
that. Put it on Twitter.
Justice for Trish, revenge for Tinker.
Terrible. Welcome to Hague. Yeah, you've no idea. Also, the whole fire thing when you said flamethrower is because everyone in the Daughters of Flame has. It was one of those things where everyone did a thing in their backstory where they're like, "Oh, this happened, by the way," and then when we met, everyone was like, "Oh, this happened," and everyone was like, "Me too," which was arson.
Oh no! Because Tinker thought because the cannon's very explosive with force, he thought, oh, we'll go flamethrower, so at least we can put out the fire if it misfires.
No, and all of them were like, "Oh, I had a horrible fire-related event in my
Oh,
backstory."
no.
Hey, I brought a flamethrower.
Yeah, they're like, okay.
Tinker can't do it. Okay, also, I just want to point out, when you revealed, Tinker did go to Ulia trying to con him originally.
Yeah.
But when you revealed he actually had shit he wanted to flip it and actually do something nice for him to try and make up. But
Yeah.
I forgot that the acid loses its potency.
Yeah.
So it's really just going to end up being another tit for tat. And now I'm worried that I've ballsed up Tinker's ability to get the Sydney.
I'm just expecting you to say that he stored it wrong.
Oh, you told me that, right?
Just ask him how he stored it. Whatever he says, say
just
that's
like-
not how you do it.
It's like, why would you do it that way?
And it's a D. Hang on, it's a D4. No, how many?
No,
do I
it's your
re-
proficiency bonus, so
That's right,
2
thank
per
you.
day.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
And then I
forgot.
think next level it goes up to 3.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was thinking about whether I'd reveal this or not, but I was thinking.
Oh,
When we leveled up earlier, as we were resuming play, I just did a bit of
Dormammu
looking
have come
around.
to bargain.
Oh, I'm about to say something that I think is going to make Orb very, very happy.
I'm listening.
Oh, what was that?
I'm thinking of multi-classing Tinker into Ranger.
What?
Whoa,
What?
for what reason? Explain.
That's a
I'm
weird.
curious now.
Because I don't want him to be very because I wanted him to be very focused on his crossbow. And artificers end up going down the line of having they allow themselves to make essentially is it magical artillery? Hold on, give me a second. Let me pull it back up in front of me again. They arcane firearm, right? Which is you can turn a wand, a staff, or a rod into an arcane firearm as a conduit for your spells, right? But I was thinking of turning his crossbow into an arcane firearm.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, well, if he's using a crossbow, that's a ranged weapon.
Yeah.
He's focusing so heavily on that, he could take a couple of levels in Ranger, go
Yeah.
into the ranged
Yeah.
fighting style,
Yeah.
get a couple of boosts of that.
I'm seeing the trend. Yeah.
We can
You
have a
don't need to be
discussion, but
ranger
there,
to have crossbow stuff. though.
yeah, what I want to say is that there are some other options to consider specifically for that purpose. If you're
Potentially
open to
better
listening,
Oh, of course, yeah.
I would say that you could then have a look at going towards the arcane archer fighter.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Because then you'd going into fighter rather than ranger, you won't have to suffer the even slower spell progression by going double half caster.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I didn't
Instead,
know.
you would get like the fighter benefits, which is like
Action surge.
action
Block.
surge.
Oh, you get fighting
yeah,
style straight away.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
didn't know
yeah,
that.
which is
Okay.
archery is +2
Yeah,
to all ranged weapon attacks.
which means I could
Uh,
drop the infusion, which is the repeating crossbow, and then I can.
Yeah, or you could stack them.
Or I could stack them, or I could swap that to the create magical item, and then
Yeah,
Yeah, because the
great.
difference is that
That'd be good.
what you're doing, the infusion makes it magical, which has its own benefits.
yeah.
But you also at level 2, because you also get second wind at level 1, which is a self heal.
Yeah.
You get a D10 hit die.
Mm-hmm.
At level 2, you get action surge. At level 3, you get martial archetype, which you could go into arcane archer. Which would simply give you access to, you get some cantrip if you want to. And then also once per turn when you, but it specifically says you have to use both. That's kind of shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it specifically
Yeah,
says
it
you have
says
to use
short bow and long
bow.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh my god, do you know what you could do?
As Moogle says, cross bow. It is a bow.
What if you have two
Okay.
bows and you just cross them over each other?
Okay, but hear me out. If you want to, here's what we can talk. We can talk. Can I make another proposition?
Absolutely, I'm enjoying this because I never even thought to multi-class, and then you started talking about it. I'm like, maybe I do, and I looked into it.
There is a very much crossbow heavy user that I could recommend, which is the Josie Poser special homebrew rogue subclass called the Unseen, which is all about like sniping.
Oh.
You also just remember to weigh it up against the fact that you'll be like level 7 to get any of those things. And you'll be missing 3 levels of the cool shit you get out of Artificer. So it's something you got to think about when you.
But I would say going 1 into fighter for the archery fighting style, and for the second wind,
it's a solid
very
one
worth
level
it.
dip for
That
sure.
is a very good first level option.
Especially considering he doesn't we only have one melee focused class in the party, so it would just be handy to have just that little bit more tankiness.
What do you
to
mean? Trish is melee with a gun.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said one melee focused class. Yeah.
No, but you could definitely go the archery fighting style just to get that attack bonus, which is pretty dang good, and get that second wind, because second wind gets back on a short rest.
That's right.
All right, well, I'm gonna get to bed.
You go to bed. Thank you, Orb, so much for hanging out. Sleep well. We will see you next time. But yeah, let's just.
I did actually. I think Laura asked a question of me earlier, asking if Forrest came from some kind of weird utopia where no one was ever bad, because he's getting confused over people just being people. Not so much.
There was just less people in general.
There was just less people. Yeah, it's just his exposure to people was very limited. So it's sort of like the people that were bad that he had to deal with were just like obviously bad, like just like thieves and stuff that were just obviously thieves, and so you just deal with them. And then
He
the other
grew up
people-
with he grew up in Sherwood with Robin Hood, and now all of a
Exactly.
sudden he's in Nottingham.
But that's pretty close. Yeah, it's just like he just like lived in a cabin with his with his father figure,
And then he traveled with
and then
some cool
traveled
people in the
sometimes-
woods.
Yeah, traveled sometimes to to markets and where he acted as security, which is where the thieves were encountered. But that was just his job.
Yeah, he was like there's like more people in one block in Hague than there was in the entire village where he grew up. Almost. So like statistics happen. If you got a 1% criminal rate and you got 100 people, yeah, you get one criminal thing. But if you got several thousand people, then you get more crime.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's really just it's isolation more than it is that it was a utopia.
Lars Pan, you're not allowed to critique Forrest's singing. It was
My
perfect.
singing was
It wasn't
beautiful.
critiquing, it was a
how dare you
pointer.
call it howling?
Why would he be howling? He's not a dog. He's not a wolf.
He's
He's
got a beautiful
he's
singing
like singing.
voice.
I loved it.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Did enjoy it.
But yeah,
there
I hope
weren't any
everyone
words
had.
to sing along with.
There was a lot of talking this session, but I hope everyone had a good time. You got some big loot.
Yeah.
Big loot.
I didn't. Did
If
we
you
even
stole
know
all
what
that
the-
money, you could finish the gauntlets, Tinker. if you had gotten all the money.
Oh, speaking of, just quickly, Darcy, did you note all of the stuff down?
Yeah, I've got the healing potion, the lens, and the 10 gold. And then I believe Orb took the other 10 gold.
Okay, here's a funny question. Since the only person with a frame would have been Forrest, would he have tried out the lens?
Did they tell us what it did,
Yeah, Tinker would have.
or did it have any information?
I don't think it did.
No, it didn't come with any information.
So that's why Tinker would have taken it, because if Forrest had have mentioned it, Tinker would have gone, it could be dangerous. So like, he'll look at it first and then.
Yeah,
make sure
I will note that there are different frames. So it's whenever I give you a lens, it will be obvious if it's like, oh, this goes on a piece of armor or a weapon.
Okay, right, gotcha.
So there are going to be some that might be interchangeable, but mostly not. And this one is for armor.
So it looks like it'll fit.
Oh,
Yes.
if the key
And remember
fits.
that those can just be like
Hot swapped.
changed out freely. Yes.
Cool.
There's like little mini passive buffs. Yeah.
Cool.
And you leveled up. How did that feel?
Oh, felt so good.
Good. There was less choices than I was expecting. I forgot that this was kind
Yeah,
of a nothing
yeah.
level.
Level 5 also doesn't come with a lot of choices, but it comes with stuff. Because paladins finally you get second level spells and extra attack.
That is pretty nice.
That extra attack is such a game changer.
That's kind of why I'm
mean,
like
it's-
kind of like when you mentioned warrior, I was like, oh, maybe I could just hang on until I get that second attack, and then I really would have a bit more like that would feel a lot more like Tinker, less of the spellcasty.
You
more
will
of
get
the-
a second shot with your thing, right? Like,
No,
I think if so, he has to, because you went artillerist.
yes, yeah.
So, no, arcane
No.
firearm. No, he doesn't. Artificers don't get any extra attacks.
Mm.
surely though.
But no, they don't.
No?
I think
Or
there
does
are
the
like
damage
in
just go
special
up with their
infusions they
single
can
shots?
do,
Like
but
with
they
the-
don't
with the
get
cannons
it
and stuff, I
passively.
mean.
They don't get it passively. It's
Have a look.
So what scales with the cannon then?
The cannon just scales. So it has specific, like it actually gives you. So you get explosive cannon at 9th level, which increases its damage. And I believe it does scale with one of my stats. Probably
intelligence, most likely.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah.
Right, so its damage dice goes up rather than getting just more attacks.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not even through your infusions does it look like you can get extra attacks. But however, if you go all the way to getting your arcane firearm,
Mm.
it does increase any damage you deal. You get an
Correct.
extra D8 to any spell damage.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of taking one more level of Artificer at the very least.
Yeah.
Because like that's the thing, you know, looking at how far we went in the previous campaign, not knowing how far we're going to go in this campaign, you know, what in Artificer am I truly trying to get? And I think I
think I said at the beginning, like, plan all the way up to level 20, but be open to change it as the game goes.
Of course, yeah.
But the goal is to get all the way to level 20.
Mm,
Yeah.
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 Very
And
cool.
it says here that your Eldritch Cannon gets increased damage at level 9.
Yes, yeah, it becomes an explosive cannon, so it gets more damage, and I can tell it to blow up.
Yes. Kaboom! It is. Yeah,
That'd be
it's,
awesome.
it just.
An earth-shattering kaboom.
Yeah, and then at very, very high level, you can actually use it for cover.
Yes, yeah.
It
That-
has like
that's
a
the thing,
magical
like-
field. Also, you can have 2 cannons at once.
Yes, yeah,
Oh.
that too.
Well, then you
Double
do get a
backpack.
second attack, basically, right?
Yeah, technically. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It does say whenever you use your bonus action to activate a cannon, you can activate both,
Yeah.
Right,
there
yeah,
you
so,
go.
like-
and
Fire twice.
you can create them with the same action as well.
Yeah, so that's why like level 15 as Artificer, I think is like definitely where I want to get to with Artificer. Going further, you're really just sort of looking at like at level 18, you can have you can attune up to 6 magical items at once, which
Yeah,
is
like,
nuts.
and if you
That's
get overclock, you'll have like 7 attunement slots.
Yeah, which
And I believe there's even an ability that you can get as an artificer, which is that you get extra power with your attuned items.
yes, there is. It is
Solo the Artifice, you
Yes.
get
Yeah.
+1 to all saves for every attuned item.
But that
and
is your-
whenever you, but it's also whenever you reduce to 0 hit points, you can end an infusion to stay at 1 hit point.
Yeah, that's at level 20 though. So that is that's the
I mean, you
level
do get
20
the extra attunement slots as you level up.
Correct.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Because like already at level 10, you get a 4th slot.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I'll do some thinking because as I said, I never really.
It also at level 10, it also says specifically, sorry,
That's
that
okay.
it takes you a quarter time and half cost to craft anything common or uncommon,
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's nice.
which is wild.
I know. I love so many things, but it's like, to go all the way to level 10. I feel a little bit worried about combat, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. So
You get.
I think
I
we'll.
don't think you need to be. You can get a lot of combat stuff out of artificers, but
Yes,
that's something
yes.
you can spend time having a look at.
yeah, it's okay.
But let's wrap this up for today, folks. I'm sure we got
Oh.
things to do.
Sleep to have, bad days at work. to forget.
Sleep to have. I am the lore librarian. No, for those who get that joke.
Nope. I mean,
Well. I would like
Where we
to
going?
recommend where we're going.
Go for it.
I think we should go to someone who's not playing D&D, but who is playing DBD,
Oh my gosh.
and it's a very lovely individual.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna start a raid for us, heading towards the one and only Gagaters.
Oh.
It's
Oh,
just
I
it's just a
think I
great
know this
bean.
I
person.
don't know this person either.
Ah.
It's just a great bean. It's a friend of me and Cuddly's,
Oh, that's, of course. Let's go.
and we're gonna go there, everyone, and we're gonna have a great time.
Sounds
I love great times.
good. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Always
It was a
a
good
blast.
session. The intrigue.
Oh,
the
yeah.
intrigue.
Did you enjoy how like Forrest and Tinker teamed up to like
I did.
nail them
I
to the
did.
wall at the end there. That was so
I
good.
We're
did.
pressing them.
Because like
Yes, yeah.
I was always open. Oh my god, I'm taking that one, Pabor. I'm always open to like changing based on what the PCs do. Like I write myself like this is the start of the opinions and the way that the NPCs think. And based on what you do, that changes.
Speaking of what
And
we're doing,
yeah.
Get
We're
that
raiding.
started.
raid. The raid's going
Okay,
again.
everybody, we're gonna go now. Goodbye.
Bye.